I usually talk about military items, war items,
Yes.
but you've brought along a few items today that are anti-war.
I have indeed.
Tell me something about them and who they belong to.
These refer to my grandmother's brother. His name was Bernard Douglas Taylor.
This is him.
That's him, yes.
Was he a friend? Was he a Quaker?
He was a Quaker. The whole family had been Methodists but turned Quaker before the First World War. Prior to the war starting, he took part in many anti-war committees and so on.
Oh, did he?
And once the war had started, he helped out with other conscientious objectors and so on. When the time came for his drafting, he appeared before a panel and pleaded his case for not having to join the military.
What's this handwritten letter about?
That's his declaration to the selection panel.
Oh, this is dated January 26, 1917.
Yes.
He's written here, I am not, underlined, a soldier, and no amount of coercion can ever cause me to become an instrument for the slaughter of my fellow man. So quite clearly he was a very intense man and definitely not one to go against his morals.
And whatever else he said to the panel, they came to the unanimous agreement that due to his statement and his eloquence and his intensity, that he should be fully exempted from military service.
Interesting. Now, this photograph here puzzles me somewhat because this is, I guess, him, is it?
That's him, yes.
But why is he wearing a military uniform?
What happened was he decided that the help he was giving out to dependents of Conchis and so on, he could perhaps do more. So he decided to go to France to help out there.
Was this while the war was in progress?
It was still in progress, yes. But what happened was, when he got off the ferry in Calais, a gendarme came up, asked him his business, and when he explained, the gendarme said, "What I suggest to you, sir, is that you go to the nearest tailor's, have yourself a uniform made and put it on immediately. Because if the women of France see you in civilian clothes, a young, fit, hale man, they're going to tear you to pieces because their men have been dying at the front and so on."
Yes, that's extraordinary, isn't it? And you've also brought along an armband. Tell me about this.
I know nothing about it. I can only presume it's part of the Quaker Voluntary Organisation's motif.
Well, in fact, I do know what this is. This is the Quaker Star. And it's the badge of the Quaker Relief Organisation.
That's good to know.
And so he would have worn the Quaker Star on his arm.
Well, as far as I know, he had no other form of insignia on the uniform.
Yes.
So solely this.
He would have worn this armband to show who he was, to show that he was a Quaker.
Quite.
And also, of course, to support the other Quakers who were also over there.
Yes,
Because he
indeed.
wouldn't have been alone. He would not have been alone. But it must have been the most appalling thing, actually, to be the subject of people's ridicule, because he would have been ridiculed at home in Britain.
I don't know that ridicule is exactly the word. I would say disliked, even to the point of being hated.
Hated, because hated
Yes,
is a
because-
strong word.
Yes, but the feeling in the country against conscientious objectors such as he was very, very strong indeed. And in fact, if you open that, you'll perhaps
This
see what
envelope?
I mean. Yes.
What's this dated? 1916, it looks like, from the postmark. And it's a letter to him.
You'll see.
Oh, goodness me. It's a white feather.
It's a white feather, as in the Four Feathers film.
It says, "Noble sir, if you are too proud or frightened," underlined, "to fight, wear this."
And the white
And this
feather.
has been kept.
It's been kept, yes. It was kept by my grandmother just to show the feelings that some human beings have towards others. So.
He obviously was a man of great deep beliefs.
Absolutely.
But how must he have felt when he received this? How would you feel if you'd received this?
I don't know. I think from what I've read of his background that he would have accepted it as an example of how human beings can look upon each other and feel sad and sorry for perhaps for the person who wrote it.
Well, that's an interesting perspective, isn't it, I suppose? And I have to say that I've never seen another white feather letter, ever.
Yes.
Because I doubt whether anybody kept them. I would have thought that...
I think most people would have been very anxious to get rid of them completely, very quickly.
Exactly. I actually feel quite privileged to be able to see it. It's quite incredible. And I wouldn't mind betting that if this was actually sold, I'm sure you don't want to do it, but
No,
if this was sold at auction today, you get a number of people willing to pay probably £500-600 for it because it's most unusual. I think this is an indictment on war itself.
Oh, quite.
And also an indictment on the sort of person that would have sent that letter.
Yes. But the whole country felt the same way at that time.
Of course they did. Of course we were very patriotic. But I find this, in today's world, I find this very moving. And thank you for showing it to me.
Oh, thanks very much.